Hi there, welcome back to my kitchen. I'm Larry and this is Dad What's for Dinner. It is the first week of December. I live in South Texas and typically it doesn't get that cold here, but this week a cold front has moved in and we're down into the upper 40s, mid to mid 50s. And some of y'all are saying, that's nothing. I know, but it's cold for here. So what we're going to do is we're going to make some hot soup. We're going to make Zuppa Toscana. It's a duplicate recipe from Olive Garden. And we'll see what we can do to make it as close to the original as we can. Pretty simple process, pretty simple ingredients. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first step in this is really kind of optional. As you can see, this is just a package of bacon. This is for a garnish, so totally optional. That's not going to affect the overall soup, but I have a chance to, fry up some bacon. And since this is going to be for a garnish, I'm just going to cut it into chunks. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of content time on this, but y'all know how to cut bacon. And we're going to fry that up to my desired level of crispiness. And we're going to save some of that delicious fat. It's probably going to find its way into this dish somehow. But anyway, we'll go ahead and fry that up, and then we'll move on to this stuff. And shout out to our local butchers, Moody's Quality Meats here in Corpus Christi, Texas. Good people, good food, good prices, can't really complain. Okay, so the first step we have here is we're going to brown off our sausage. You can use pretty much any kind of sausage that you want. Spicy, not spicy. I guess it really kind of depends on the flavor profile you're going after. So it has been a while since we talked about the difference between browning and cooking meat. Browning meat means just that. You want to make sure that you get the brown on the meat, not just get rid of the pinkish color. So the best way to do that is just let it sit. We're going to lower that heat just a little bit. Just let it sit, let that Maillard reaction take place, let that bottom side get crispy, then come in, flip it, and do the same thing. While that while that sausage is cooking, we're going to go ahead and slice up our potatoes. I have about 2 pounds of just yellow potatoes, and we're going to go ahead and cube those. So the easiest way to do that is cut off a little bit on the bottom so you have a flat surface to work with. And yeah, sorry. And then you're going to cut planks. And then just probably about that big. You just want to imagine what can fit on a spoon. And that's the size that you want to go with. Okay. So like I said, you want to get that Maillard reaction going. And you can see here that we got some nice browning going on there. And that's what you're looking for. Once you get to this point, you can take out your smasher, or I'm not real sure what this tool is called, but it's great for ground meat being fried up. You want chunks in your soup, but you don't necessarily want, again, you just want it bite-sized. You're not going for taco meat fine. You just, it's your soup. If you want it taco meat fine, knock yourself out. But me personally, I'm going to say maybe, I don't know if that guy right there is coming up on camera. I'm not real. There we go. But yeah, about that size. So maybe what is that, about ½ inch? I don't know. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started frying up our aromatics here. Now the actual recipe calls for butter, But since I happen to have some good old-fashioned bacon fat, I'm going to use that as well. If you have enough fat after frying your sausage, you can definitely use that, but my sausage was kind of lean. So I'm going to add probably what the heck, 3 tablespoons of bacon fat to my pan. We'll get that heated up to fry off our aromatics. And again, that's just fancy cooking talk for, in this case, onions and garlic. Oh, and some crushed red pepper. Okay, so it sounds like that oil is heated up. This is one small onion. I think the recipe calls for a half of a regular onion, so, you know, use your brain. Turn that down a little bit. And the recipe again calls for salt and pepper. But anytime it calls for salt and pepper, I found that using this adobo does great. So I'm just going to salt and pepper that. And we're just trying to get these translucent. That'll take about 2 or 3 minutes. Not necessarily looking for color. I mean, they're going to pick up color because we're frying it in that sausage fat. But we're really just looking to get them translucent and softened. Okay, so it's been about 2 minutes. Those onions are softened nicely. I'm going to go ahead and add in, this is 4 cloves of minced garlic. And again, like I said, garlic to me is a spice. And you can measure spices with your heart. So for me, 4 cloves of garlic sounds right. If you want more or less, that's up to you. And we're going to let that cook until it gets fragrant. It's going to take it about 30 seconds or so. And I can smell it already. Okay, so with that, we're going to go ahead and add our chicken broth. You can add whatever kind of liquid you want at this point. I'm using chicken broth. You can use bouillon. I suppose if you wanted to get real fancy, you could probably use some combination of broth and wine. Before I add it all in there, I'm going to go ahead and deglaze the pan a little bit. Get all those brown bits from the sausage. Just scrape the bottom of the pan. I mean, you could do this after you add all of the broth, but it's easier to see the bottom of the pan this way. But yeah, you want to get all those little brown bits because, again, that's flavor. All right, that looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of this. This is just 1 box, 32 ounces. What is that? 4 cups of broth, I think. Trying to do the math in my head. I think that's right. Okay. We're going to bring that to a boil. Okay, so upon reviewing the recipe, probably should have done that beforehand, it said to add 6 cups of stock and 2 cups of water. I added 8 cups of stock. So, yeah, I don't think it's going to hurt anything. Like I said, you can use whatever combination you want. You just want that volume of liquid. If anything, it's going to have a richer, deeper flavor, but I think we'll be fine. Apparently, I can't do math at all. 32 ounces is 4 cups, not 8. So we're going to go ahead and add some more broth. That would be about half of this box. And that'll give us our 6 cups there. Nothing like reviewing the recipe halfway through. But this is like real life cooking. You figure out what you're doing and you adjust and you move on. But the important thing to remember is 8 cups of liquid. We've got our aromatics and stock boiling. We're going to go ahead and add our potatoes. And again, this is like 2 pounds of just yellow potatoes. And we're going to add it to our stock. So a helpful cooking hack, if you want something to boil faster, put a lid on it. Okay, so you want your potatoes just to be a little fork tender. Like I said, we're not trying to make mashed potatoes here. So we're going to go ahead and reduce the heat a little bit. And we're going to add back in the sausage and any accumulated juices that you can get. Now a little stir. Then we're going to add in a pound of kale, and it's going to look like it's a lot, but it will reduce down. You might have to add it in batches until it wilts, but you just add it in. All right, so once your kale has wilted down, we're going to go ahead and add in 2 cups of heavy whipping cream. So that would be, half of this. And then you just want to give that a good stir. Okay, so at this point, this soup is ready to eat, but you could probably let it simmer on low, let those flavors mingle and get to know one another, and it'll be even better. But this is a great soup for a cold day, and even though it's South Texas cold, it is cold today. So I am Larry. This is Dad What's for Dinner. If you like this video, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. It'd be awesome if you could leave some comments. Until next time, take care and God bless.